Hello, everyone. Welcome into CUTV Sports One and another edition of Forechecking. We are live just a week from last week's show, but with a different topic. We know the playoffs are coming up very, very quickly, and that starts on Saturday with the puck drop of the Penguins as well as most of the other teams as well. The first exhibition game starts tomorrow at 4 p.m. with the Penguins taking on the Flyers. I'll be tuned in to watch that game. Hope you guys will as well. But a different topic today, as you can see above me with the logo and on my shirt, the brand new 30-second franchise added to the NHL in the Seattle Kraken. I'm live here with all the co-hosts. Again, we are going to switch it over to gallery view so everyone can join in on the fun. Myself, Johnny Sakaguchi right below me there. Doug Gladkey down in the bottom. He's the last one to join. He had some computer issues today. Rocking that Atlanta Thrashers jersey. Nolan Beislein, top left. Peyton Trollinger over there. How are you guys doing?
Not bad. Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
Doug, you had an interesting weekend at work.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always have interesting weekends at work. It's a wild time. So
we're all excited for this 30-second team added to the NHL, and you see we're kind of trying to sport the background, the logo behind me with the team colors. It's a hard color to get. I'm rocking the Seattle Kraken gear. I'm gonna jump over to Doug first because he was predicting this name for the name of this team for a long time. So, Doug, what was your, initial thoughts on why you thought that Seattle would be named what it is?
I don't know. I think a big thing is it was either going to be the Kraken or the Sockeyes. And the Sockeyes, that team name, the Seattle Sockeyes, is taken by a author who writes a very oddly specific genre of literature, and I'm just going to leave it at that because we cannot get into it on this forum.
Okay. Now, what I was reading up on was that the waters in Seattle are the only place that the actual Kraken lives, and I didn't even know the Kraken was a real thing. I thought it was mythical. Did any of you guys know it was actually real?
No comment.
I just thought it was like.
Oh, Johnny, did you know it was real? I'm switching over to Johnny here. Johnny, did you know it was real?
No comment. I'll let it at that. No comment.
So you knew it was real?
No comment. Hit this time. I'm Marshawn Lynch. I'm here so I don't get fined. I'm here so I don't get fined.
All righty then. So obviously we talked about that. We're not going to get into any types of talking about what players might end up on this team because they're not going to start playing next season. You're not going to have the expansion draft until the following season, so there's no way you could predict any players that could be on this team. And if there's some people might be interested and be like, oh, I think this player would be a good fit here. We're not going to talk about that quite yet. Maybe in one of next year's shows because obviously they're not going to play next season, and players could be all different kind of places by then on different contracts and everything of that nature. So we're not going to get into that. But opinions on the team. I'm going to jump around to everybody here. Let's jump over to Nolan here in his Washington Capitals jersey up there in Hershey Bears territory. Opinions on the team or opinions on anything about it, Nolan? Colors, logos, anything. What do you got?
Yeah, it was definitely interesting watching that first press release that they did kind of right there in the stadium, that climate arena, the first of its kind, which I think is kind of interesting. It'll be interesting to see what it's like once they get ice down and everything. But just watching their whole kind of storyline into it, how they got the name, and even the preview of the waters on the boat, I thought that was really neat. I didn't know what it was going to come out of. So, I'm fine with the Kraken. Sounds a little funny at first. I know I was watching a video with TJ Oshie from the Capitals, and he laughed about it. So I don't think he thought it was going to be named the Kraken either.
Indeed, I don't think so. Peyton, let's jump over to you, man. What was your thoughts on the team and opinions?
So I'm really happy that they have a team in Seattle because I'm not sure if many of you know, but there actually was a team in Seattle before the NHL was a thing. I'm pretty sure the NHL was formed in 1918. There was a team in 1917 called the Seattle Metropolitans, and if you watch the opening video for the Kraken, they mentioned or they show pictures of the Metropolitan. So, and they were actually the first American team to win, I guess, the Stanley Cup. It wasn't really called that, but I just think that's really interesting. So I'm really glad they finally have a team in Seattle again. I actually thought they were going to be called the Metropolitans, but I was like, they're on the Pacific Division. there is a Metropolitan division. I don't think that would work too well. But, I really like the name. I'm really excited to see what they can do during the playoffs because I know that arena is about to be packed, and it's going to be just such a great playoff atmosphere. There's so much they can do there. I really can't wait to see just playoff time in Seattle.
32nd team in the NHL with packed with 32,000 fans. So coincidental to have them both there. I'm going to switch over to Johnny here and get your opinions on the team. He switched back. He's been switching shirts the entire time on this show. So I'm gonna hit the next question for you after this one, but give your opinion on the team first.
I was actually excited to hear about it, and I'm going to go with this one. An opinion from one of my coworkers this weekend. And after I thought about it, I have to agree with them. This was an opportunity to add another green-colored uniform to the league because we only have two, and that's the Wild and the Stars. But I have to say, I was impressed with the logo. I was impressed with the colors and everything that they came out with this. The Release the Kraken in merch, if you guys haven't seen it yet. And I got one of the shirts that says Release the Kraken, and I love how they incorporated the original Metropolitan's S in the logo, as well as giving it its own new twist with the Kraken eye and tentacle coming out of it. Also, the secondary logo, TK, good eye on that one, on the anchor with the Space Needle. Now, when this all started, I think all of us were having this conversation last fall when we found out that the NHL was going to expand the 32 into Seattle. We were all coming up with, different names for it. Or I think one of us said Ed, go back to being the Metropolitans. Peyton, it might have been you. It might have been Colin. I can't remember. We were just throwing random names around. And it was just one of those things. We were sitting there waiting and going, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? And then we got the release date on Friday. And it was just one of those things. I was like, wow. This logo, it's simple, but it goes hard at the same time. And now that I've seen it, and then just fast everything came out, Fanatics has already got stuff online, as we can see with TK right now. I was excited to see either stuff's coming out already, and it's got people talking. Twitter was a buzz. I was enjoying just going through news feeds and reading everybody's stuff on Twitter, or everybody had a comment to make, whether it was funny. You had Vancouver and them talking and smack already saying we can't wait for a rivalry renewed now. And then something I thought about this, and it involves your Colorado Avalanche, TK. And that's so the Avalanche, when they came out and said it was, I forget what anniversary it is for the franchise altogether as a whole, going back as far as the Nordiques. They said, we'll wear the Nordiques jersey. Well, Carolina jumped on Twitter, says, all right, when we play you, if you wear the Nordiques, we'll wear like in English today. If you wear the Nordiques, we'll wear the Whalers jerseys. So I got to thinking, what if Vancouver and Seattle did something like that, where they wore the old Metropolitans jersey and Vancouver or the Billionaires, or something along those lines? It would be cool to see. But that's an idea for something down the line later on.
Yeah, I do like that. But let's I'm gonna actually, you guys can't see it, but I'm gonna pull up the logos here on the screen. So just take a look at them. You have the first, of course, primary logo, like you said, the S with the tentacle up the center, the red eye, and then your secondary logo, that anchor. And, of course, as we mentioned, the Space Needle takes up the center of that anchor. And, then, of course, the word mark on the right side is the third as well. Now, we have some looks at the jersey, too, so let's pull that one up real quick. Thoughts on the jersey? And, of course, they only showed the home sweater so far. But, Doug, your thoughts on the jersey so far that they have laid out for Seattle?
I think it looks fantastic. I think, like Johnny said, I think a lot of us were expecting green, and they really blew it out of the water with the navy and ice blue look that the Kraken are going to go with. I think that it's a perfectly designed jersey, and I cannot wait to get my hands on one because you know how big of a jersey guy I am.
I'm definitely gonna have one as well. Let's jump over to Nolan and your thoughts on the jersey.
Yeah, I mean, it was something really special to see from the start. It's kind of, it's that different traditional jersey almost. Got some simpler colors, but they really made it something special. That it's just, nothing against penguins, but not just a penguin on the logo. It kind of incorporates a little bit of everything in that logo. So, like Doug said, I'm definitely going to get my hands on one. I got my hands on a Vegas one right when it came out. We saw how that went with the player in the back, as we talked about earlier. But man, I may just have to go with the just the plain old jersey this time, maybe with my last name on it.
Nice. You can get a custom one for yourself. All right. I like it. Let's jump over to Peyton.
I really love the jersey. Like, I mean, just simple as that. I just love it so much. The kind of like what Doug was saying, like the ice blue. That probably is my favorite part of the entire jersey. I was saying before we started the show, I think what they should do is take that kind of like that ice blue, take the watermark, not the watermark. I'm stupid. The word mark for the Seattle Kraken, slap that on a jersey, make that like a third or an alternate jersey. I think that would look really awesome. I saw a concept. I forgot who actually posted it, but it was a really nice jersey.
Yeah, TSN.
Yeah, it was TSN. Yeah, but just honestly, just the home and away jerseys, they just look so crisp and clean. I'm a sucker for simplicity. This the more simple a jersey is, the more likely I am to buy it, and I will definitely be going broke on a Seattle jersey.
I agree. I'm getting one as soon as it comes out. But, of course, we won't know who the players are. But let's jump over to Johnny and your thoughts on the jersey.
Peyton said it's simple, but it works. When I was walking at it, I saw when they were talking about the design. I saw one, and I actually kind of wish they would do that. They made the tentacle go wrap around the sleeve, so you saw like the Kraken's arms going up and down the sleeves. Now that's an alternate jersey, but we'll save that for another time. The only thing I would change with the current jersey look is I would add like a powder, like the ice blue or a red line around the collar, because it's just navy blue the whole way up. That's the only thing I would change about it. Other than that, these things are clean. And I can't wait to get my hands on one. And I'm probably going to do like Nolan, instead of grabbing a player that's going to be going in the expansion draft, because we don't want to have last time. I'm probably going to just either leave it blank, my name on the back.
No, I'll definitely be getting a player on mine. Not sure it'll be, of course, like we talked about, the expansion draft not happening for another season yet, so no one will be getting any hands on jerseys yet. But I'm sure that once they come out, we'll all have them as fast as possible. I already got a shirt, so you know how it goes.
I had to guess though. If I had to guess from when the jerseys are going to come out, I'd say probably right after the draft, because they're going to have to have one for the NHL draft next year.
Right, I agree. All right, so talk about the next one, because this is going to shift a little bit of the Western conferences around a little bit, and I'm going to start with Johnny because he's already got the shirt on. The Arizona Coyotes will, of course, Seattle's going to play in the Pacific. So the team to shift over right now would be the Arizona Coyotes. They shift over to Central Division to play alongside teams with the St. Louis Blues, Colorado Avalanche, and your Dallas Stars. You're sporting the Coyotes jersey right now. It's a practice jersey, but you're sporting it. What's your thoughts about the Coyotes playing? Yeah, what's your thoughts about the Coyotes playing in the Central compared to the Pacific as they are now?
I think they're going to have a bit of a home ice advantage, because they're going to be the farthest west team in that division next to Colorado and Dallas. But you also got to think they're going to be playing some good teams in Nashville, as well as Chicago. Oh, and I'm trying to remember who else is in that Central Division.
Winnipeg and Minnesota.
Yeah, so it's going to be a balanced division now, I think. But it's still Vegas, or the Coyotes are going to be having a little more home ice advantage, because they're the furthest team in West from everybody in that division, and next to Dallas, which I'm going to be excited to see more of those games, because that's an old rivalry from the 90s that's going to start picking up a little bit more again, because now you're going to see a couple more of those games being played every year with the Coyotes and the Stars, and I love watching those two get together and play. It's because it's a tough game. And it's like watching the Avalanche Avalanche and the Wild or the Avalanche and Detroit, which is just some of the most interesting matchups I've seen in a long time. So,
yeah, definitely indeed. So let's jump over to our hockey expert, and Mr. Doug Gladkey. And I know he's probably waiting to see what I'm going to ask, because this show. Let's jump back to Galaxy for a second. This show was put on with okay, this is the thought we're going to go with. We're going to talk about this team. And I know Doug was telling me, he's like, but why? The team's not, until next season. And I'm like, I don't know, just kind of throw it out there and just talk about it a little bit. But I know, like, everything coming out into the league now, I mean, the new arena, I mean, that's even something that's interesting. I mean, Doug, can you give any insight on the arena, and like, do you know what you think it might look like, and anything that we don't?
I mean, I think it's going to have a major futuristic vibe to it. I mean, the fact that Jeff Bezos bought the naming rights to the arena makes me think that it's going to be some very high-tech, next-level stuff. And, it's climate change arena. Apparently, it's all, like, earth-friendly and stuff, I guess, that for lack of a better term. But it's going to be interesting to see how it all comes together. Obviously, we're not going to see a lot of major progress made on that probably until the beginning of the new year. But we're going to have to wait and see. I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it as well. And so it's been a ride to wait for this team. I know I saw the comparison the other day on I forget who posted it. It was like the amount of days from the time the NHL announced expansion teams to the time the logos, team name were revealed. For the Vegas Knights, it was like 70 or so days. For the Seattle Kraken, it's been like, I think it was like 500 something. I don't know.
It's been well over a year.
Yeah, it was like 597 days or something like that. So it's definitely a big difference. I think, of course, COVID-19 put a dent in a lot of that. But, we still waited a lot longer before COVID for the Seattle team than we did for Vegas. But do you think that Vegas got off to a really hot start when they come into the league? Do you think Seattle will try to play that same kind of card and try to pick up the players that they need to get hot right away? Or do you think they'll just kind of get some players, sit back for a while, and get hot eventually? I mean, any thoughts on that? Let's jump over to Nolan first.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all going to depend, honestly. Like, I know me and Doug have been talking about it a little bit recently, like who's available, honestly. If they can go after some of those more veteran players come that time, next year, kind of those 2-year contracts right now. Like, Vegas was really fortunate able to get like a Pacioretty, Stone, those type of guys. But be interesting to see if I was Seattle. I mean, I would send it right away. I mean, Vegas, you saw they went the whole way to the finals. They didn't win, of course, but made it the whole way to the finals. So I think Seattle could do the same thing, kind of that new team, new hype in the city. It's not just the Seahawks and the Mariners. Now it's the Kraken. So I think they could try to make a run right away if I was them, at least.
I love how you threw it in there that the Vegas made it, but they didn't win. Hashtag Capitals fan out there.
Oh, always.
Let's throw this over to Peyton. And your thoughts, same kind of question.
I mean, it can go either way, like always. They can either do really good and, like Nolan said, make it really deep into the playoffs, or it can just implode and they are just terrible, honestly. I don't think they're going to be absolutely terrible. I don't think they're going to make playoffs, though, unfortunately. I mean, obviously, I can't say much more because they don't have a roster, but I don't think it's going to be right now. I think it's going to be a few years. They're going to get some okay guys to be respectable, probably finish middle of the pack, and then a few years from now, they'll start to make the playoffs.
Okay. Johnny, your thoughts?
Going off of what Peyton said, it's too early to make a prediction about what they're going to do, but I think the NHL as a whole, after seeing what Vegas did, and because what the league was doing, and pretty much every team was cap dumping a bunch of players off to Vegas. They're like, well, we can get rid of this player, and that's going to give us this much. We're going to get rid of this player. Or we can make a trade so they take this player. there, and that's what we saw a lot of. I mean, Pittsburgh traded 2 picks and a minor league got. I had a Vegas for a 3rd-round pick to take Fleury, if I remember correctly. Doug, I might be wrong on that. I'll have to look that one up again. But I might be wrong on that. Don't hold me to that. But as we all know, the Penguins let Fleury go. And he ended up being this star-studded goaltender, doing a little bit better than he did in Pittsburgh, I think in his first year here at Vegas. And I could see Doug giving me the hard eye roll down there. But I honestly think it's going to be interesting to see. I don't think we're going to see another Stanley Cup run from Seattle. I don't think we're going to have that Cinderella story again. And however, I do think they could be a playoff contender depending on who they pick. But they're going to have to be a balanced team of skill, veterancy, and a little bit of speed with some good goaltending in order to be a cup contender. And the reason I'm saying that's the Penguins formula, as well as now the Capitals. So we'll see what happens in the following year to come. But until then, and I'm going to wait and see after they do the expansion draft. So I'm not making any predictions until I see who's on the roster.
Yeah, especially, since that's kind of playing in that Pacific Division. You got to have, all of that to be a competitor in general. So let's jump over to Doug here, our hockey expert, and your thoughts on the same thing.
All right, I think that this team can be really good from the jump because their GM is Ron Francis, and he's one of the better hockey minds in the league right now. I mean, he's pretty much solely responsible for the Hurricanes being what they are right now. And I think that unlike Vegas, they're not going to take all these cap dumps for free. They're going to get a ton of draft picks. And as you guys know, by default, they're going to have a lottery pick their first year in the league to get a good young player to potentially cornerstone that franchise on top of whatever else they get in the expansion draft. So I think that they can be pretty good, especially if the expansion draft goes in their favor. But the big thing is the draft lottery. They're coming into the league in 2021. There's 2 really good prospects, both Shane Wright and Matthew Savoie, coming into the league in the 2021 draft. So if they're able to get a top 3 pick, that's going to be huge for that franchise.
Indeed, it would be. Just let's jump out. I mean, there's not a whole lot else we could kind of cover on it. I mean, just wanted to jump in for a quick show with you guys to touch base on the whole team and to see what your thoughts were and everything, as well as all give you guys all of ours as well. And I think the team could be good. I think it's a really good addition to the NHL, and I think it's going to be a fun time and something really interesting to see once they jump into the league. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited for the start of hockey tomorrow. I'm ready to go.
Yes, sir.
We all are.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Puck drop at 4 p.m. tomorrow for the first exhibition game. This is the Penguins taking on the Flyers, the first exhibition game in 3 days. And then, of course, the playoffs will start on Saturday. The Penguins puck drop at 8 p.m. for all you Penguins fans here around the area. If you're a fan of other teams, you can check the schedule out and let us know. But right before we go, of course, their slogan, of course, for this team in Seattle is going to be "Release the Kraken." I always thought this was something that it was just mythical. But it's, of course, from movies and things like that. And I kind of wanted to see if Johnny had his own way of saying "Release the Kraken."
I don't. I really don't.
I know you have your radio howls and everything. I'm like, I wonder if Johnny has his own way of saying "Release the Kraken."
Just give it.
Release the Kraken, Lonnie!
Release the Kraken!
That was interesting. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh my
Well,
God.
when it does come that time to release the Kraken, the team will be in the league. We're excited to see it. But again, guys, thank you to everyone who joined me today for a quick show. We put it on. Nolan, Peyton, Johnny, and Doug, thanks for joining in. We'll have another show for you guys on CTV Sports 1 as soon as the qualifying rounds are over. We're not sure, how long those will take, depending on how long the series take per team. But we'll see. And, the next show will be after the qualifying rounds. We may or may not be on campus by that point. We will find out. Hopefully we will be. I heard that, campus will be reopening and move-in starts on the 14th for anybody living on campus. You have to schedule your day to move in is what I heard too. So, but yeah, so I mean, we're ready for it. Next show will be after the qualifying rounds, but hope you guys are ready for some hockey. And we're going to close it out on that note. So thank you guys for joining us. Again, everybody, thanks for joining in. And we'll see you at the next show right after the qualifying rounds.